All right, we're going to get to this. I want to talk about how to make things look a little more realistic, and that is by using a select a mask option called New Layer with a layer mask. So I've got this little clown. I made him kind of small on purpose, but I've got this little kid clown down here. And I want the kid to be behind the guy, but the guy is part of the main picture of all the people in line. So what we need to do is remove the guy from the background so that we can put the little guy in front. Now some people would say, well, how about I just grab a brush and start painting out the little guy? Well, that's not a good idea. I mean, in my mind, that's just going to make things worse later on if you wanted to add something back in or if you wanted to scoot him around. Because if I went to scoot him around, well, now half his body's missing, right? So I'm going to undo that twice because I don't like that situation. That's not a good solution to this problem. Same thing here. If I want these Doritos to be in this basket behind the things that are already in the basket, I want to make it look like it belongs there. And I don't want to just erase the Doritos or hide the part of the Doritos. I want the Dorito bag to still be there so I can pick it up and move it around. So that's what this particular concept is for. You're going to figure out what area that you want to be able to hide something behind. So in this case, it's pretty much like this guy from, say, about here down. There's not like a perfect on this. It's just kind of whatever it is that you think you might need. But so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just using my magnetic lasso and roughing this out pretty quickly. And again, I know I can fix it on my layer mask if there's something that needs to be changed. But I'm just going to do this quickly on here. I don't think we're ever going to get over there where those toilet papers are, so I'm just going to kind of call it a day. All right, so there we are. This is going to be my little chunk that I'm going to put on a new layer. Now, I need to be sure I'm on the people in line layer, because if I go in right now to my select a mask, which won't even let me because I don't have this layer on, but if I go into select a mask, like that's what's going to happen. See, I'm on the wrong layer. So make sure you're on the right layer, the people in line layer. Go to your select a mask. You should get the little chunk of your person. That's all I want. But instead of outputting it to a layer mask like we're used to, we're going to output it to a new layer with a layer mask, which means it leaves the original picture of all the people in line there and just moves this little chunk to its own new layer. But it has a layer mask, so if I need some more of the guy, I can paint it in. I'm going to hit OK. So now that's there, and you don't freak out because basically when it does this, it duplicates your layer and it doesn't think you want the bottom anymore, but we do. So I'm going to put that in there. Now, again, it's just this little chunk here. So when I turn my little guy on, I can put him now behind that little chunk and I can move it around. Now, his hand is going to be a problem for me, right? Because it's like popping out. So I can go back to my people in line layer and just paint in white on here so I can get that part back in there. So you can do it that way. Not really a huge deal. Then you put this layer back on and bam, he's behind him. And I can still click on my clown with my move tool and move him around and it's not going to mess with anything. See, if I would have hidden part of my little clown by like painting over the clown, I wouldn't be able to move the clown around. And we want to be able to move it around. Now, I can't move him too far or he'll pop back out the other side. So you have to make sure you have enough of what it is you're going to need. All right? So let me do the same concept one more time. We're going to do it with these Doritos. So I need to decide what part of this basket is going to be in front of my bag of Doritos. So say I want to slide it in like right here in this area somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and select, again, on my people in line. So I'm going to turn off these other things so I'm not distracted by them. On my people in line, I'm going to select the part that I need. So let's say I'm going to put it behind this, whatever this thing is. Okay, so it's going to go behind whatever this thing is. And, oh man, this is not the best tool for this. Okay, so something like that. And maybe even I want it to, say, go in front of this or go behind this little ledge here if I slide it around a little bit. Okay. And I don't know how far down I'm going to want it to go, so I'll just go ahead and go down a little bit on my basket here. All right, and then we'll come back up and just seal it off. Again, I'm just taking a chunk of this to move it in front. This is a pretty bad selection, but that's okay. So I'm going to get that figured out, and again, you can touch it up with your little brush or whatever if there's too much or not enough or whatever, but it doesn't honestly matter for this one. Okay, new layer with layer mask. So now this little chunk is on its own layer. Again, my people in line disappeared again. It's okay. So this is the chunk of the basket. Okay. And there we go. And then this copy here was the part of the guy. That's what that one was. All right, so let's turn the Doritos on. We're going to move the Doritos behind the chunk of the basket so they go behind. And then I can start putting them in here. And as we can tell, Again, I don't have quite enough. Or, of course, these Doritos are kind of big. I just might go smaller. So make it look like it fits there better. But now it kind of looks like it's in there. And you could argue, yeah, but you got like this little white piece that should be Doritos. Well, all right, if that bothers you enough, then you can fix that part. And go in there and fix that on the mask. But this already looks better. Now we've got our little man with our clown, and we got our Doritos, and they all look like they're there. Compliments of New Layer with a layer mask.